In a tiny apartment nestled in the bustling streets of New York City, a young boy named Jan lived with his mother, May. At just 8 years old, Jan had already learned the importance of family, love, and resilience. May, a single mother, worked long hours to provide for her son, but her disability made life a constant struggle. Despite the challenges they faced, Jan and Mai had an unbreakable bond, their love for each other shining brightly amidst the hardships. One day, Mai's health took a turn for the worse. Her condition had progressed to the point where she could no longer work, leaving her and Jan in a desperate situation. The young boy, wise beyond his years, knew he had to do something to help his beloved mother. With a heavy heart but a determined spirit, Jan made a decision that would change their lives forever. Jan decided to take his mother back to their hometown in China. He believed that the change of environment, coupled with the support of their extended family, would help Mai recover and give them a chance at a better life. It was a daunting task for such a young child, but Jan's love for his mother gave him the strength to take on this enormous responsibility. The journey to China was long and tiring, but Jan remained steadfast, caring for his mother every step of the way. When they finally arrived in their hometown, they were greeted with open arms by their extended family. Jan's aunts, uncles, and cousins were overjoyed to see them and immediately offered their support. Jan quickly adapted to their new life in China. While his relatives helped care for Mai, Jan took on additional responsibilities to contribute to the household. He assisted his family with their small business, running errands, and helping customers with a smile on his face. The young boy's resilience and maturity touched the hearts of everyone around him, and they couldn't help but admire his unwavering dedication to his mother. One fateful day, as Jan hurried through the crowded streets on an errand, he accidentally bumped into a well-dressed man. The man, named Li Wei, was a wealthy businessman who was initially annoyed by the interruption. However, when Jan apologized profusely and explained his situation, Li Wei's annoyance melted away, replaced by a growing curiosity and admiration for the young boy's sincerity. Li Wei found himself drawn to Jan's story and offered to help him and his mother. He arranged for Mai to receive better medical care and provided financial support to ease their burden. Jan was grateful for the kind stranger's generosity, but he never expected the incredible truth that would soon come to light. As Li Wei spent more time with Jan and Mai, he began to uncover a shocking revelation. Years ago, before Mai left for the United States, she had a brief romantic relationship with a young Li Wei. Unbeknownst to him, this union had resulted in Jan's birth. The billionaire entrepreneur was stunned by the realization that the resilient little boy who had captured his heart was, in fact, his own son. Faced with this life-altering discovery, Li Wei knew he had to take responsibility for his child. He offered Jan and Mai a new life, complete with a comfortable home, access to top-notch medical care for Mai, and the best educational opportunities for Jan. The boy, overwhelmed by the sudden change in their fortunes, struggled to adapt to his newfound wealth and the presence of a father figure in his life. Li Wei, eager to build a relationship with his son, patiently navigated the challenges that came with this new family dynamic. He understood that Jan needed time to adjust and was determined to provide him with the love, guidance, and support he had been missing all these years. As the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Jan, Mai, and Li Wei slowly began to forge a strong family bond. The young boy taught his father invaluable lessons about the importance of love, family, and the value of hard work. In return, Li Wei provided Jan with the stability, encouragement, and wisdom he needed to thrive. Together, the newly united family faced their challenges head-on, their love for one another growing stronger with each passing day. Jan blossomed under his father's guidance, excelling in his studies and discovering new passions. Mai's health improved, thanks to the excellent medical care she received, and she found joy in watching her son build a relationship with his father. As Jan grew older, he came to understand the incredible journey that had brought him, his mother, and his father together. He marveled at the twists and turns of fate that had led them to this point, and he was grateful for the love and resilience that had carried them through their darkest days. The story of Jan, Mai, and Li Wei served as a testament to the power of love, family, and the indomitable human spirit. Their tale inspired others, reminding them that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, hope and happiness could be found. Jan's life had been transformed in ways he never could have imagined. From a young boy struggling to care for his disabled mother in a foreign land to a cherished son of a billionaire, his journey was one of perseverance, love, and the unbreakable bonds of family. As they looked to the future, Jan, Mei, and Li Wei knew that their path would not always be easy. But they also knew that with the love and support of one another, they could weather any storm. They had already overcome so much, and they were ready to face whatever challenges life had in store for them, together as a family. The story of the immigrant little boy who took care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China had captured the hearts of all who heard it. It served as a reminder that love, compassion, and the strength of the human spirit could conquer even the most daunting of circumstances. And for Jan, Mei, and Li Wei, it marked the beginning of a beautiful new chapter in their lives, one filled with love, laughter, and the unbreakable bonds of family. As Jan, Mei, and Li Wei settled into their new life together, they faced the challenges that came with blending two worlds. Jan, now attending a prestigious school, found himself navigating a new social landscape. His classmates came from wealthy families, and their lives seemed so different from the one he had known. At times, he felt like an outsider, unsure of how to fit in. Li Wei, aware of his son's struggles, made a point to spend quality time with Jian. He shared stories of his own humble beginnings and the obstacles he had faced on his path to success. These heartfelt conversations helped Jian understand that his experiences had shaped him into the strong, compassionate person he was, and that his background was something to be proud of. Mei, too, played a crucial role in helping Jian adapt to their new circumstances. Despite the language barrier and cultural differences, she attended school events and made an effort to connect with other parents. Her warm, inviting nature quickly won over the hearts of those around her, and soon Jian found himself surrounded by a supportive network of friends and their families. As Jian grew more comfortable in his new life, he began to explore his passions. He discovered a love for music and started learning to play the piano. Li Wei, recognizing his son's talent, encouraged him to pursue this interest, even going so far as to arrange for private lessons with a renowned instructor. Jian's musical abilities blossomed, and he found solace in the melodies he created. He poured his emotions into every note, expressing the joys, sorrows, and triumphs of his extraordinary journey. His music became a bridge between his past and present, a way to honor his roots while embracing his new life. Mei's health continued to improve, thanks to the top-notch medical care she received. She regained her strength and independence, and with Li Wei's support, she even began to pursue her own dreams. She enrolled in language classes and started volunteering at a local community center, helping other immigrants adjust to life in China. Jian watched his mother's transformation with pride and admiration. She had always been his rock, his source of strength, and now she was blossoming in ways he had never thought possible. Her resilience and determination were a constant reminder of the power of the human spirit. As the years passed, Jian and Li Wei's bond deepened. They discovered shared interests and spent countless hours exploring the city together. Li Wei taught Jian about business and entrepreneurship, nurturing the boy's natural curiosity and intelligence. Jian, in turn, showed his father the importance of empathy and compassion, reminding him of the value of human connection in a world that often prioritized profit over people. Their family dynamic was not without its challenges, but they faced each obstacle with love, patience, and understanding. They learned to communicate openly and honestly, to listen to one another's perspectives, and to find common ground. Through their shared experiences, they forged an unbreakable bond, one that would withstand the test of time. As Jian approached his teenage years, he began to reflect on his extraordinary journey. He marveled at the twists and turns of fate that had brought him, his mother, and his father together. He recognized the sacrifices his mother had made, the love and support she had given him, even in their darkest moments. And he appreciated the way his father had stepped up, embracing his role as a parent and guide. Jian knew that his story was unique, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. He felt a deep sense of gratitude for the love and opportunities he had been given, and he was determined to make the most of them. He set his sights on the future, dreaming of ways to make a positive impact on the world. With his mother's compassion and his father's business acumen, Jian knew that he had the tools to create change. He started small, volunteering at the same community center where his mother worked. He tutored young immigrants, helping them navigate the challenges of adapting to a new culture. He listened to their stories, offered support and encouragement, and became a role model for those who were facing the same struggles he had once known. As he grew older, Jian's vision for the future expanded. He dreamed of starting a foundation that would provide resources and support for immigrant families, helping them build better lives in their new homes. He knew that his own story could serve as an inspiration, a reminder that with love, determination, and the support of family, anything was possible. Jian's journey had been one of hardship, resilience, and ultimately, triumph. He had faced challenges that most children could never imagine, but he had emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. He had learned the true meaning of family, the power of love, and the importance of giving back. As he looked to the future, Jian knew that his story was just beginning. With his mother and father by his side, he was ready to take on the world, to create positive change, and to inspire others with the power of his own incredible journey. He knew that the road ahead would not always be easy, but he also knew that with the love and support of his family, he could overcome any obstacle. And so, the story of the immigrant little boy who had taken care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China became a legend, a tale of hope and inspiration passed down through generations. It served as a reminder that the human spirit is indomitable, that love can conquer all, and that the bonds of family are the most precious gift of all. As Jian embarked on his mission to create positive change, he found himself facing new challenges and opportunities. With the support of his family and the resources provided by his father, he established the Hope for Tomorrow Foundation, dedicated to assisting immigrant families in China. The foundation's first project was to create a community center that offered language classes, job training, and counseling services for immigrants. Jian worked tirelessly to secure funding, recruit volunteers, and spread the word about the center's mission. He drew upon the lessons he had learned from his own experiences, creating a welcoming and supportive environment for those who were struggling to find their place in a new land. As the community center thrived, Jian's reputation as a compassionate and effective leader grew. He was invited to speak at conferences and events, sharing his story and inspiring others to get involved in the cause. He met with government officials and business leaders, advocating for policies and programs that would support immigrant families. Through his work, Jian came to understand the true scope of the challenges faced by immigrants in China. He saw families struggling to make ends meet, children grappling with language barriers and cultural differences, and parents working multiple jobs to provide for their loved ones. He knew that there was so much more to be done, but he was determined to make a difference, one family at a time. As the years passed, Jian's foundation expanded its reach, partnering with other organizations and government agencies to provide a comprehensive network of support for immigrant families. They established scholarship programs for young immigrants, provided microloans for entrepreneurs, and created mentorship initiatives that paired newcomers with established members of the community. Jian's mother, May, became a key figure in the foundation's work. She used her own experiences to connect with other immigrant mothers, offering support, advice, and a listening ear. She organized community events and potluck dinners, creating opportunities for families to come together and build relationships. Lai Wei, too, played a crucial role in supporting Jian's vision. He used his business connections and resources to secure funding and partnerships for the foundation. He provided guidance and mentorship to Jian, helping him navigate the complex world of nonprofit management. As Jian watched his foundation grow and thrive, he felt a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. He knew that he was making a real difference in the lives of countless families, providing them with the tools and resources they needed to build better lives in their new home. But even as he celebrated the foundation's successes, Jian never forgot his own roots. He made a point to stay connected with the immigrant community, attending neighborhood events and visiting families in their homes. He listened to their stories, shared in their joys and sorrows, and remained committed to being a voice for those who often went unheard. As Jian entered his adult years, he began to reflect on the incredible journey that had brought him to this point. He thought about his mother's sacrifices, his father's support, and the countless individuals who had helped shape him into the person he had become. He knew that his story was a testament to the power of love, family, and the resilience of the human spirit. Jen's work with the foundation had shown him that every person had a story, a unique set of experiences and challenges that had shaped their lives. He had learned to approach each individual with empathy and compassion, to listen without judgment, and to offer support without expectation. These lessons had not only made John a better leader, but a better son, friend, and partner as well. He cherished his relationships, knowing that the love and support of those around him were the foundation upon which all his successes had been built. As Jen looked to the future, he knew that there would be new challenges to face, new obstacles to overcome. But he also knew that he had the strength, the wisdom, and the support of his family to guide him through whatever lay ahead. He dreamed of a world where every immigrant family had the opportunity to thrive, where every child had access to education and resources, and where every person was treated with dignity and respect. He knew that this vision would not be realized overnight, but he was committed to working towards it, one day at a time. As the years went by, John's foundation continued to grow and make a profound impact on the lives of immigrant families in China. The Hope for Tomorrow Community Center had become a beacon of light for those seeking support, guidance, and a sense of belonging in their new home. One sunny afternoon, Jan found himself sitting in the community center's garden, reminiscing about the incredible journey that had led him to this moment. He watched as children from different backgrounds played together, their laughter filling the air. Parents sat nearby, engrossed in conversation, sharing their experiences and offering each other advice. Jen's heart swelled with pride and gratitude. He knew that none of this would have been possible without the love and support of his own family. His mother's resilience, his father's generosity, and the unbreakable bond they shared had given him the strength to pursue his dreams and make a difference in the world. As he sat there, lost in thought, a young girl approached him. She had a bright smile and curious eyes, reminding Jan of himself at that age. The girl introduced herself as Lily and asked if she could sit with him. Jan welcomed her warmly, and they began to chat. Lily shared her own story, telling Jan about the challenges she and her family had faced since moving to China. She spoke of her struggles at school, the loneliness she sometimes felt, and her dreams for the future. Listening intently, Jan felt a deep connection with Lily. He saw in her the same spark of resilience and determination that had carried him through his own difficult times. He offered her words of encouragement, sharing bits of his own story and the lessons he had learned along the way. As they talked, Lily's eyes widened with wonder. She had never met someone who understood her experiences so deeply, someone who had faced similar challenges and emerged stronger and wiser. She hung on Jan's every word, soaking up his advice and guidance like a sponge. Their conversation stretched on, and as the sun began to set, Lily's mother arrived to pick her up. The young girl hugged John tightly, thanking him for his kindness and support. She promised to come back to the community center to learn and grow alongside the other immigrant children. As Jen watched Lily leave, hand in hand with her mother, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that his work was not just about providing resources and support, but about fostering connections, building relationships, and creating a sense of community. In the days and weeks that followed, John threw himself into his work with renewed energy. He organized workshops and events, bringing in speakers and experts to share their knowledge and experiences with the immigrant families. He worked closely with his team to develop new programs and initiatives, always striving to find new ways to support and empower those they served. Mi and Li Wei were constant sources of support and inspiration, always ready to lend a helping hand or offer a word of encouragement. They marveled at the man their son had become, at the impact he was making on so many lives. As the foundation's reach continued to expand, Jan found himself traveling more, speaking at conferences and meetings with government officials and business leaders. He used these opportunities to advocate for immigrant rights, to push for policies and programs that would create more opportunities and support for families like his own. Despite the demands on his time, Jan never lost sight of what mattered most: the people he served. He made a point to stay connected with the immigrant community, to listen to their stories and learn from their experiences. He mentored young people like Lily, offering guidance and support as they navigated the challenges of growing up in a new land. Through it all, Jian remained humble and grounded, never forgetting the lessons he had learned from his own family's journey. He knew that his success was not just a result of his own hard work and determination, but of the love, sacrifices, and support of those who had believed in him from the start. As he looked to the future, Jian knew that there was still so much work to be done. The challenges faced by immigrant families were complex and deeply rooted, requiring sustained effort and commitment to overcome. But he also knew that he was not alone in this fight. With his family by his side and a growing network of supporters and allies, Jian felt empowered to continue pushing forward, to keep fighting for a world where every immigrant family had the opportunity to thrive. And so, the story of the immigrant little boy who had taken care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China had become a story of hope, inspiration, and the transformative power of love and compassion. Jian's journey had shown that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome with the support of family and the strength of the human spirit. His work had touched countless lives, creating ripples of change that would continue to spread for generations to come. As he sat in the community center's garden, surrounded by the laughter of children and the chatter of families, Jian felt a profound sense of gratitude and purpose. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he also knew that every step he took was a step towards a brighter future for all those who followed in his footsteps. And so, with a heart full of love and a spirit full of determination, Jian continued on his path, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For he knew that with the support of his family and the strength of his convictions, there was no obstacle too great, no dream too big, and no future too bright to imagine. Jian knelt down to Bao's level, looking him in the eye with a warm smile. "I know it can be tough being in a new place, trying to make friends and fit in. I've been there before, and I want you to know that it gets better. You're not alone, Bao. We're all here to support you." Bao's eyes widened as he listened to Jian's words. For the first time in a long while, he felt a glimmer of hope. He could sense the genuine care and understanding in Jian's voice, and it made him feel less alone. Jian continued, "I know you have so much potential, Bao. You're smart, kind, and brave. Don't be afraid to show the world who you really are. Embrace your unique qualities and share them with others. That's how you'll find true friends who appreciate you for you." Bao nodded, a small smile spreading across his face. He could feel the warmth of Jian's words washing over him, giving him the courage to take the first steps towards opening up and connecting with others. From that day forward, Bao began to participate more in class. He started joining in on activities and even made a few friends. His teacher was amazed at the transformation, and she knew that Jian's words had played a significant role in helping Bao find his confidence. Stories like Bao's were not uncommon in Jian's line of work. Every day, he witnessed the impact that a little kindness, understanding, and support could have on a person's life. He saw immigrant families overcome incredible odds, finding strength in each other and in their communities. Jian's own family continued to be a constant source of inspiration and support. Mi's health had improved significantly, and she now spent much of her time volunteering at the community center, sharing her wisdom and experiences with other immigrant mothers. She had become a beloved figure, known for her warm hugs, listening ear, and sage advice. Lai Wei, too, had found new purpose in supporting the foundation's work. He used his business acumen and network to secure funding and resources, ensuring that the organization could continue to grow and serve more families. He also made a point to spend quality time with Jian, nurturing their bond and offering guidance whenever needed. As the years passed, Jian watched with pride as the children he had mentored grew into confident, compassionate young adults. Many of them went on to pursue higher education, start their own businesses, or give back to their communities in meaningful ways. They often credited Jian and the foundation for providing them with the support and opportunities they needed to succeed. One evening, as Jian was preparing to leave the community center, he noticed an elderly woman struggling to carry her groceries. Without hesitation, he rushed over to help her, taking the heavy bags from her hands and offering her his arm for support. As they walked together, the woman shared her story. She had come to China decades ago, fleeing war and poverty in her homeland. She had worked tirelessly to build a new life for herself and her family, facing countless challenges and setbacks along the way. "But you know," she said, patting Jian's hand, "I never lost hope. I always believed that if I kept pushing forward, kept loving my family and my community, that things would get better. And they did. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it." Jin nodded, feeling a deep connection to the woman's words. Her story was a testament to the resilience and strength of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope could light the way. As he helped the woman to her door, she turned to him with a smile. "Thank you, young man, not just for helping me with my groceries, but for everything you do. I've heard about your work, about how you've helped so many immigrant families find their footing here. It warms my heart to know that there are people like you in this world, people who care and who are willing to make a difference." Jin felt tears prick his eyes, touched by the woman's kindness and recognition. He hugged her gently, thanking her for her words and for sharing her story. As he walked home that evening, Jin reflected on the incredible journey that had led him to this moment. From a young boy caring for his disabled mother to a man leading a foundation that had touched countless lives, his path had been one of love, resilience, and the power of family. He thought of his mother, Mei, and the sacrifices she had made to give him a better life. He thought of his father, Li Wei, and the way he had stepped up to support and guide him. He thought of the countless immigrant families he had met, each with their own unique stories of struggle and triumph. And he thought of the future, of the work that still lay ahead. Jen knew that the challenges facing immigrant families were complex and ongoing, but he also knew that with love, compassion, and a commitment to making a difference, anything was possible. As he arrived home, Jen was greeted by the warm embrace of his mother and the proud smile of his father. They sat together, sharing a meal and stories from their day, just as they had done so many times before. And in that moment, Jen knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, no matter how difficult the road might be, he would always have the love and support of his family to guide him. That love, that unbreakable bond, was the foundation upon which all his work and all his dreams were built. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit full of determination, Jen looked to the future, ready to continue making a difference, one life at a time. For he knew that in the end, it was the love and the connections we built that truly mattered, that had the power to change the world. And so, the story of the immigrant little boy who had taken care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China continued, a testament to the enduring power of love, family, and the human spirit. It was a story that would be told for generations to come, inspiring countless others to believe in themselves, to reach out to others with compassion, and to never, ever give up hope. Years turned into decades, and Jen's work with the Hope for Tomorrow Foundation continued to flourish. The organization had grown from a single community center to a network of support and resources spanning the entire country. Countless immigrant families had found solace, guidance, and a path to a better future through the foundation's tireless efforts. Jin, now a middle-aged man, had become a respected leader and a beloved figure in the immigrant community. His wisdom, compassion, and unwavering commitment to helping others had touched the lives of many, and his story had become a source of inspiration for people from all walks of life. Despite the passing of time, Jin never forgot the lessons he had learned from his own family's journey. He continued to draw strength from the love and support of his mother, Mi, and his father, Li Wei, who remained his guiding lights and his biggest cheerleaders. One crisp autumn morning, Jen received an invitation to speak at a national conference on immigration and social welfare. As he stepped onto the stage, he looked out at the sea of faces before him, politicians, activists, and everyday people, all united in their desire to make a difference. Jen began to speak, his voice calm and steady. He shared his own story, from his humble beginnings as a young boy caring for his disabled mother to his current role as a leader and advocate for immigrant rights. He spoke of the challenges he had faced, the lessons he had learned, and the incredible resilience and strength he had witnessed in the immigrant families he had served. As he spoke, Jen could see the audience leaning forward, hanging on his every word. Some had tears in their eyes, others nodded in recognition, seeing their own experiences reflected in his words. "My journey," Jan said, "has taught me that no matter where we come from, no matter what obstacles we face, we all share the same fundamental desires: to be loved, to be understood, to belong. These are the ties that bind us, the common threads that weave through all our stories." He paused, letting his words sink in. It is our duty, our privilege, to extend a hand to those who are struggling, to offer them the same love, compassion, and support that we ourselves have received. For it is in these acts of kindness, these moments of connection, that we find our true strength and our true purpose. As Jian finished his speech, the audience rose to their feet, applauding thunderously. He could see the impact his words had made, the spark of inspiration and determination that had been ignited in the hearts of those present. In the days and weeks that followed, Jian received countless letters and emails from people who had been touched by his story. They shared their own experiences, their own struggles and triumphs, and expressed their gratitude for the work he and the foundation were doing. One letter, in particular, stood out to Jian. It was from a young woman named Mei Ling, who had immigrated to China with her family as a teenager. She wrote of the difficulties she had faced, the loneliness and isolation she had felt, and how the support and guidance she had received from the Hope for Tomorrow Foundation had changed her life. "Your story," Mei Ling wrote, "gave me the courage to believe in myself, to pursue my dreams, and to never give up hope. I am now a teacher working with immigrant children, and every day I strive to be the same kind of guiding light for them that you and your foundation were for me. Thank you from the bottom of my heart." Jian read the letter over and over again, tears streaming down his face. He knew that this was what it was all about. The ripple effect of love and compassion, the way that one person's story could touch and transform the lives of so many others. He showed the letter to his parents, watching as they too were moved to tears. "This," Li Wei said, his voice thick with emotion, "is your true legacy, son. Not the money, not the fame, but the lives you've changed, the hearts you've touched. This is what matters most." Mei nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "You have become the man we always knew you could be, Jian. A man of compassion, of integrity, of unwavering dedication to others. We are so proud of you, and so grateful for the journey that brought us all together." Jian embraced his parents, feeling the love and gratitude that flowed between them. He knew that their journey had not been an easy one, that they had faced countless challenges and setbacks along the way. But through it all, they had remained united, their love and their faith in each other never wavering. As Jian looked to the future, he knew that there would be more obstacles to overcome, more hearts to touch, more lives to change. But he also knew that he was not alone in this fight. He had his family, his friends, and a growing network of supporters and allies who shared his vision for a world where every immigrant family could thrive. And so, with a heart full of love and a spirit full of determination, Jian continued on his path, guided by the lessons of his past and the hopes for his future. He knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but he also knew that with the support of those who believed in him, anything was possible. The story of the immigrant little boy who had taken care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China had become more than just a personal journey. It had become a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome even the greatest of odds. And as Jian looked out at the world before him, he knew that his work was far from over. There were still so many stories to be told, so many lives to be touched, so many dreams to be nurtured. But he was ready to continue making a difference, one heart at a time. For in the end, Jian knew that it was the love we gave, the compassion we showed, and the hope we inspired that truly had the power to change the world. And that was a legacy worth fighting for, a legacy that would endure long after he was gone. With a smile on his face and a fire in his heart, Jian stepped forward into the future, ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities lay ahead. For he knew that with the love of his family and the strength of his convictions, there was no limit to what he could achieve, no dream too big, no future too bright. And so, the story continued, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who heard it, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, love and compassion could light the way forward. It was a story that would be passed down through generations, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the unbreakable bonds of family. As the years continued to pass, Jian's legacy grew, touching the lives of countless individuals and families across China. The Hope for Tomorrow Foundation had become a household name, synonymous with compassion, support, and the unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit. Jian, now a grandfather himself, could often be found at the community center, surrounded by children of all ages. They would gather around him, eager to hear his stories and learn from his wisdom. He would smile, his eyes twinkling with warmth and understanding, as he shared the tales of his own journey and the lessons he had learned along the way. One day, as Jan was preparing to leave the center, a young girl approached him. She was shy, her eyes cast downward, clutching a small notebook to her chest. Jan knelt down, bringing himself to her level, and gently asked her name. "Lian," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Jan smiled, his heart already opening to this little girl. "Lian," he repeated, "what a beautiful name. It means lotus flower, did you know that? A symbol of resilience and hope, rising above the darkness to bloom in the light." Lian's eyes widened, a small smile spreading across her face. She held out her notebook, her hands trembling slightly. "I wrote a story," she said, her voice growing a bit stronger. "About a little boy who helped his mama and found his baba, just like you." Jan felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes as he gently took the notebook from Lian's hands. He opened it, his gaze falling upon the carefully crafted words and illustrations that filled the pages. It was his story, his journey, seen through the eyes of a child. As he read, Jan was transported back in time, reliving the moments that had shaped his life. He saw himself as a young boy, caring for his mother in their tiny New York apartment. He felt the weight of responsibility, the fierce love and determination that had driven him forward. He saw his mother's face, etched with pain but always filled with love. He heard his father's voice, strong and steady, guiding him through the challenges of his new life. And he felt the warmth of their embraces, the unbreakable bond that had carried them through every trial and triumph. Lian watched, her eyes wide with anticipation as Jan finished reading. He looked up, his vision blurred by tears, and pulled the little girl into a gentle hug. "Thank you," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "Thank you for reminding me of the power of our stories, of the impact they can have on others." Lian beamed, her face alight with joy and pride. "I want to be just like you when I grow up," she declared, her voice filled with determination. "I want to help people, to make them feel loved and happy." Jan smiled, his heart swelling with love and gratitude. "You already are, Lian," he said softly. "By sharing your story, by opening your heart to others, you are making a difference. Never forget that." From that day forward, Jan and Lian formed a special bond. He became her mentor, her guiding light, sharing with her the lessons he had learned and the wisdom he had gained. And she, in turn, became his inspiration, a reminder of the boundless potential that existed within every child, every soul. As Jan watched Lian grow and flourish, he knew that his work, his legacy, would live on. Through the lives he had touched, the stories he had shared, and the love he had given, he had set in motion a ripple effect that would continue to spread, touching hearts and transforming lives for generations to come. And so, even as he grew older, Jan's spirit remained young, his heart full of hope and his mind full of dreams. He knew that there would always be challenges to face, obstacles to overcome. But he also knew that with love, compassion, and the unbreakable bonds of family and community, there was nothing that couldn't be achieved. In the quiet moments, when he was alone with his thoughts, Jan would often reflect on his journey. He would think of his mother, Me, and the sacrifices she had made to give him a better life. He would think of his father, Li Wei, and the love and guidance he had provided. And he would think of all the lives he had touched, all the hearts he had opened, and all the dreams he had helped to nurture. It was a legacy that filled him with both pride and humility, a testament to the power of one person to make a difference. And as he looked to the future, he knew that there was still so much more to be done, so many more stories to be written. With a heart full of gratitude and a spirit full of hope, Jan continued on his path, guided by the love of his family and the strength of his convictions. He knew that the road ahead would be filled with twists and turns, with moments of joy and moments of sorrow. But he also knew that he would never be alone, that he would always have the love and support of those who believed in him. And so, the story of the immigrant little boy who had taken care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China lived on, a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who heard it. It was a reminder that no matter where we come from, no matter what challenges we face, we all have the power to make a difference, to touch hearts and change lives. For Jan, that was the true meaning of success, the true measure of a life well lived. Not in the accolades or the achievements, but in the love given and the lives touched. And as he looked back on his journey, he knew that he had lived a life rich in both, a life that had made a difference. With a smile on his face and a twinkle in his eye, Jan embraced each new day as a gift, an opportunity to spread a little more love, to share a little more wisdom, and to make a little more magic in the world. For he knew that as long as he had love in his heart and hope in his soul, there was nothing he couldn't achieve, no dream too big, no future too bright. And so the story continued, a never-ending tale of love, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds that connect us all. It was a story that would be told and retold, passed down from generation to generation, a reminder of the incredible power of the human spirit and the transformative magic of hope. As the sun began to set on another day, Jan found himself sitting in his favorite spot in the community center's garden. The air was filled with the gentle buzzing of bees and the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers. It was a place of peace, a place of reflection, where he could let his mind wander and his heart soar. Jan closed his eyes, breathing deeply, allowing the tranquility of the moment to wash over him. He thought back to the countless lives he had touched, the stories he had heard, and the love he had both given and received. It was a tapestry of experiences, each one a thread woven into the fabric of his own life story. He thought of Leon, the little girl who had captured his heart with her innocence and her wisdom. She had grown into a beautiful young woman, her spirit as bright and resilient as the lotus flower she was named after. Jan knew that she would carry on his legacy, spreading love and compassion wherever she went. As he sat there, lost in his thoughts, Jan heard a familiar voice calling his name. He opened his eyes to see his wife, Mei Xiu, walking towards him, a gentle smile on her face. She had been his rock, his partner, his soulmate through every moment of his journey. Mei Xiu sat down beside him, her hand finding his, their fingers intertwining like two halves of a whole. They sat in silence for a moment, enjoying the simple pleasure of each other's company, the love that flowed between them like a gentle river. "What are you thinking about, my love?" Mei Xiu asked softly, her eyes shining with understanding. Jian smiled, his heart full to bursting. Everything, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. The journey, the challenges, the triumphs, the lives we've touched, the love we've shared. It's all so beautiful, so precious. Mei Xiu nodded, her own eyes glistening with emotion. It is, she agreed, her voice soft and filled with warmth. And it's all because of you, Jan. Your heart, your compassion, your unwavering belief in the goodness of others. You have been a light in the darkness for so many. Jian shook his head, his smile widening. No, my love, he said, his voice filled with conviction. It's because of all of us, my mother, my father, you, our children, our grandchildren, and every single person who has ever been a part of our story. We are all connected, all part of something greater than ourselves. Mei Xiu leaned her head on Jian's shoulder, her heart swelling with love and pride. You are right, she said softly. And that is the true beauty of life, isn't it? The connections we make, the love we share, the difference we can make in the world. Jian nodded, his eyes gazing out over the garden, taking in the beauty that surrounded them. Yes, he said, his voice filled with reverence. And that is what I want to leave behind, my love. Not a legacy of wealth or power, but a legacy of love. A legacy of hope. A legacy that will continue to grow and flourish long after I am gone. Mei Xiu squeezed Jian's hand, her heart overflowing with emotion. You already have, my darling, she said, her voice filled with certainty. Every life you have touched, every heart you have opened, every dream you have nurtured. That is your legacy, and it will endure forever. Jian felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes, the love and gratitude he felt for his wife, for his family, for every soul he had ever known, washing over him like a warm embrace. He knew that she was right, that the true measure of a life well lived was not in the accolades or the achievements, but in the love given and the lives touched. And as he sat there, surrounded by the beauty of the garden and the love of his wife, Jian knew that he had lived a life rich in both. A life that had been filled with challenges and triumphs, with sorrow and joy, with love and with hope. He closed his eyes once more, breathing deeply, allowing the peace of the moment to fill his heart and his soul. And he knew, with a certainty that came from the very depths of his being, that no matter what the future held, he would face it with love in his heart and hope in his step. For that was the true essence of his story, the immigrant little boy who had taken care of his disabled mother and found his billionaire father in China. It was a story of resilience, of courage, of the unbreakable bonds of family and the transformative power of love. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink, Jian and Maixiu sat hand in hand, their hearts full and their spirits soaring. They knew that their journey was far from over, that there were still so many more stories to be written, so many more lives to touch. But they also knew that they would face whatever lay ahead together, united by the love that had brought them together and the hope that had sustained them through every trial and every triumph. And so, as the day drew to a close and the stars began to twinkle in the sky above, Jian and Maixiu stood hand in hand, ready to embrace whatever the future might bring. For they knew that as long as they had each other, as long as they had love in their hearts and hope in their souls, there was nothing they couldn't achieve, no dream too big, no future too bright. With a final squeeze of their hands and a shared smile that spoke volumes, Jian and Maixiu turned towards home, towards the warmth and comfort of their family. And as they walked, their hearts beating as one, they knew that their story, the story of the immigrant little boy and his incredible journey, would live on forever, a testament to the enduring power of love and the indomitable spirit of the human heart.